Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. It's always great to see a young, energetic crowd, and a group that wants to drive and achieve something in their life, right? Yesterday, I had the great fortune of meeting our new batch that just joined us over here in the Udaipur office. We opened that about a couple of months ago, 2 months ago. We opened up our office over here in Udaipur. And Chirag and some of his colleagues have joined from the institute over here. And just looking at their academic performance and just personal attitude towards life was very, very motivating, right? And that's sort of what probably signifies Gitanjali's core values, it seems like, right? So that's partially, I think, what's brought all this together. As Sir mentioned, Vinod Birla, who runs our unit over here, is also from Rajasthan. And something brought us into town over here, and I think looking at the people, I can now see what it is. It's an alignment of the core values, right? So I'll take a few minutes and just talk a little bit about, more than technology and, how to create a great company. I think it comes down to becoming a great human being, right? And yesterday when I sort of met Chirag and some of the other individuals, what I loved about people was about how they were interacting with each other, the teamwork they had, the appreciation they had for each other's successes, right? There was no, I didn't get this and you didn't get this and what am I getting, what am I getting? See, these are core values of life that helps you achieve something out there today, right? And each one of you guys have come from different corners of life that has brought you today to Gitanjali to learn, understand, see, your participation on the Google workshop over here. If you look at these companies, they're amazing organizations that have been created by founders who have a motivation beyond that of just making money. When you look at these companies like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, or you look at Google, or when you look at Bill Gates and you look at these individuals, they didn't start companies with keeping the end in mind. They kept going in the passion, the drive, something when they wake up at night, right, or in the morning, that they feel there's something for me to go create out there, to change the world out there, right? And I think it's very important, right? In today's fast-moving world, we often think about, how to make money. How do I buy that bungalow? How do I do this? How do I do that, right? But the reality of life is the joy comes from the small things. The joy comes from the small things, right? Okay? So I spoke a little bit all over the map a little bit. We'll try to focus back into core values because I really want to focus on this one topic. In life, life journey will take its own toll. If you look at everybody, if you've watched the movie Guru, for example, right? Even Dhirubhai Ambani's representation over there, when he had hit all the success, all friends are there. And when he hits that peak in life and he gets a stroke, it's very hard for him to get up and get going again, right? Or when you, I don't know about the cricket player from Sri Lanka, but it's a very nice story on him. The guy tried out for participating in the cricket tournament, I think, to become a cricket player for Sri Lankan team 3 times, right? And every time, he would go out there and try to make the win, but it wouldn't happen, and then on the 3rd try he made it. Or if you watch the story of Dhoni, for example, right? Or if you recently look at all this, there's a lot of true stories that are out there, right? Everybody has a purpose, right? And discovering this purpose of your life is very important. When we talk about purpose is not attached to building a business or creating a great company, right? It's not attached to anything material in nature. It's not attached to anything material in nature. And the day you desire to figure out your purpose, everything else will align towards it. Right? I think it's important if you think about that, right? And it's a hard question to ask, right? If you ask somebody, what's your purpose? They'll take a step back and think about it. Tonight when you go to sleep, think about this question, right? If you ask a mom, what's your purpose? They'll say, raising kids. That's not her purpose. That's a task in the journey, right? If you ask the father, what's your purpose? I got to earn for the family. That's not his purpose, right? You got to find that purpose of life. Very important, right? Okay. So we'll do a little bit of interaction because I think it makes it a little bit more fun that way, right? So can anybody tell me what's the number one profession out there that makes the most amount of money? Anybody? What profession makes the most amount of money? Wealth-wise, anybody? Any guess?
The profession which we love to work upon.
A profession that we love to work upon. Okay. Anybody else? Doctors, lawyers, engineers, businessmen. Who do you think makes the most money? Entrepreneurs? Anyone can? Yes, that's right. That's right. But I'm trying to make this a little more. Yes, go ahead.
A person who is giving jobs to other people.
A person who's giving jobs to other people, right? Right. These are great characteristics, right? But let's just talk about that. Generally, lawyers and doctors in the US, we say make a good chunk of money, right? You agree? Right? So lawyers charge $1,000 an hour. A good lawyer charges $1,000 an hour. Recently I had a friend of mine, unfortunate situation, had a legal situation to go through, right? And just in the span of 3 months, his legal bills racked up to I think over $300,000, right? I mean, $1,000 charge कर रहा है आदमी, तो आदमी flat हो जाता है उसमें time में. And then the lawyer doesn't come alone, right? He comes with his paralegal, comes with this, comes with that. So lawyers make a lot of money. Doctors make a lot of money. Doctors are saving lives. It's a very, very nice profession, right? But recently it was found in a study that sportsmen, basketball players make a lot of money. Football players, cricketers, right? These are professions that do very, very well, right? And this triggered me something. And then the next question, this gentleman who told me the story, it's not my story, but I'm sharing it. He asked, what do they say when they go from home? What do they say? Every day, they don't play World Cup every day, right? Right? So they go every day to do something. So what do they say when they're leaving home? Mom, I'm going to play. I go to play, right? The lawyer says, I'm going to go get that guy hung today. Nothing wrong with the profession, right? But if life can become play, then wealth will naturally come on its own. Can we treat every day of our life when we're leaving the house as a joy of play, right? And in my short span of career, my experience is not as much as the teachers and sir and the chairman and everybody else. It's an inspiring story of the chairman of Gitanjali Institute, but if they treat life in this manner, when you wake up in the morning to say, today I'm just going to play with life, how beautiful life can be, right? Oftentimes in my family, people say, you work long hours, and I don't respond to it because it's very hard to explain. But actually, in all these years, I've never been tired of my work. What I've been tired of is some political situation, some bureaucratic situation. That's what exhausts the energy out of you. Some right or some wrong, right? But work doesn't tire you. It challenges you. It motivates you even more, right? It's motivating, right? So I think it's a very core quality to look upon, right? Is, how can you make life a play every single day, right? So as you guys are studying, as you guys are growing your careers over here, look for that in everything that you do. Whether it's your education, whether it's your career after this, whether it's, when you get married, when you have kids, can you make life a play every single day? Absolutely important, right? I mean, I'm sharing these tidbits because these are the secret formulas that has helped me become successful in my life, right? Prior to this, my career actually started off, just to give you a little background so you have some synopsis on the situation. I live in the US, my father migrated in the 60s. And, I was fortunate enough for him to one day come back from work when I was 5 years old, decide to come and settle in India. So we moved into Vadodara over here, close by. And that's where I was raised. I went to Bharatiya Vidya Bhavans, did my early skill education over there. We were there for 7 years. So age of 5 to age of 12, I lived over there. Then we moved back to the US because of some financial reasons and other things. And when I was 14, missed playing gilli danda and cricket, so I ended up moving back to India by myself. Lived here for 2 years, from age of 14 to 16. And then I ended up going back to the US to be with the family. And then we got involved with the family business, graduated, did my bachelor's and master's in engineering. While working through school, I did my own work in tutoring and helping at the shops and other things. And then when I started my career, I worked with Accenture. And at the time I was doing a lot of internet strategy work, part of my job. And I said, I've got some experience of doing Indian retail. What can I do to use the internet to do something different? But I was a hardware engineer by trade, so did not know software. I understood what a customer experience would be like, and I could visualize that a person can go online, purchase a thing, you can get it good, it can be shipped over to them. I can visualize how the order can be fulfilled, and I can understand how I should create the UI, the front end, and the back end, and all that stuff, but I could not get this concept of how a database would connect to an application in '96. It was just a hard concept for me to digest. And somebody showed, this is a database, so see, Microsoft Access is a database. These are web servers. At that time, it was Netscape server-side JavaScript is what it was. There was no ASP.NET at the time. There was no ASP.NET came later on, but even active server pages were not there. So, struggling and figuring it out. And all nights I would be working, go to the job at 8 o'clock in the morning. At night I would be at 2, 3 o'clock, I would be trying to figure this out. And it took me a month to figure out, how to connect an application to a database. And the moment I did, the light bulb went on, and I was able to create the entire site in about 3 to 4 months. Time progressed on in about 2 to 3 years. The business evolved. But the first year, '97, our revenue for the entire year was only $50. The concept was great, but nobody came to buy. And every day when I would go home, people would ask, Vijay, nobody's going to buy, Indians will never put a credit card on the internet, this will not happen, that will not happen. But I got so much joy in just learning what I was doing that I didn't know when time went by, and I didn't know, whether I was getting revenue or not getting revenue. And that's what motivated me, kept me driving. And then 25, I did that. 26, my age, 26 is 98, 99, 98. Revenue went from $50 to I think $10,000 for the year. And then in early '99, Rediff took off over here, Ajit Balakrishnan. And he had raised some capital and he was in the US. He looked at me and I was 27 at the time and said, why don't we merge into the play? But somewhere in that conversation, I didn't see that he understood what I was trying to do. And the age played a lot of factor, saying he's a kid, bacha kind of a thing. So my father said, if you're serious, do something, kind of thing. And that motivated me even more. It was not to show off to somebody or tell something, but something to say that I want to deliver something for my own good, my own betterment. When I started the company, the vision was that if I did this on the side, then I'll earn $10,000 besides my thing, and I'll be able to pay my house payment and do that. That was my vision, right? Vision is always limited. You ask, Dhirubhai Ambani, what was his vision when he started the company? You ask Tata or Birla, the vision develops with time. But the core value was very ingrained. Like Tata, it was all about doing the right thing, giving back, and you see that with their work that they continue to progress upon is the whole give back philosophy. So for me, it was all about creating the shopping experience. Why can't a person get a product? Why can't this happen? Why can't that happen? And that's what built a great company. Fast forward the story in '99, we found a group of investors that believed in this vision, this passion. They invested some capital into us, and then we took off and we became the world's largest brand in Indian e-commerce, right? And then early 2000, we were the largest acquisition that took place, and Sifi acquired us. When they bought India World, Cricinfo, and other properties for the e-commerce side, they ended up acquiring us. If you do a Google search on India Plaza and Sifi, you'll find the story. But that's how wealth came in. And then the dot-com bust happened and the wealth disappears, right? And these are lessons of life, but it's a journey to teach you, are you really passionate about what you're doing still? Or are you passionate because you're getting the reward associated with it, right? So we want to think about that in this journey. And then in 2001, 2002, time went by, and then we worked, and my wife was a big support to me in starting the organization. But what started V2 was, again, a group of individuals that came back and said, we're all working and we're all earning, but we're not having fun. Right? So one of the mantras at V2 is, if you're not having fun, you should not be here, kind of a thing, right? I tell every employee that has joined us today, to date, that they are V2 vibrant for the life and the journey. They join the V2 family when they join us. And it's our outlook to take a look at it. And I share with them when they join. They don't take me, unfortunately, they don't take it for what's worth, but I say, the day you enter the company, we switch roles. It's your responsibility to make the company successful, it's our responsibility to make you successful. Because if we join a family, then we change and create responsibilities, right? And, in this journey, we really take that to heart. And we say to everybody, when they're at the table talking about a compensation or about a project, said the fundamental first comes down to, are you having fun in this journey or not? You know, and I'm sharing this topic in concentration around this because in where you guys are in this career of yours, right? And as you will graduate from the institute tomorrow, when you look for a career opportunity, you must look for an opportunity where you feel your passion, your heart is associated with. It's absolutely instrumental. If that connection doesn't happen, no matter how well you are, how good you are, success will not touch you. Success will not touch you. Success is a reward, it's a prayer, it's an offering from the prayer that you do. Your work is your prayer. Right? So I always say to everybody, I say, whatever you say everything, but don't say, Vijay, you're working too much, now you have employees, give it off to somebody. Because I said, guys, everything at work is my prayer. Say everything you want to say, everything else, but this is the only satisfaction that I get in life, it's my prayer. It gives me joy, it gives me an ability to create, it allows me to take new challenges, right? So I would say, think of this in everything that you do. Right? So we started V2 with this philosophy. Today we've continued to grow over here as an organization. It's a group of us that started the company, that we all came together and says, "Kaam kar rahe but maza nahi aa raha. We're not enjoying what we're doing. So again, let's come together, we'll create something of enjoyment." And that's how the company founded and started. A number of my employees are there for me for 18 years, 19 years, 17 years, 15 years, and they're all equally part and parcel of the organization. Anywhere from the bottom to the top. And we were just sharing a story with the sir that, when you look in life, if I were to give you two takeaways, there is no hierarchy in the world. God has created everybody with some intent and some purpose, right? If there was no worker, this building would not be there. If there's no teacher, there would be no place to teach, right? If there's no person who takes the water, there would be a beautiful building, but there's no water over here, right? When our clients come, and I have a client, a friend of mine that's been there for now, a good relation in the last 14, 15 years. He's made probably 10 visits to India, but he never asks, how is this project manager, or how is the tech lead, or how is the tech architect? But he will always ask me, how is the office boy? Because the care and love that office boy is provided to him, in serving him tea every day, which never gets served in the US, touched his heart, right? So it's very, very, very important. Right? So give respect to people, respect will come back to you. Extract the small joy from the small things of life. You may go and, go buy kurta for 10,000 rupees or a sari or whatnot. But if you give 10 rupees to somebody that was helping, or even if you just open the door for somebody when somebody was walking out the building, how much more joy will you get out of it? And that's life. If you can just extract the joy from the small things of life, life will bless you in so many different ways. And follow that heart. Do not run after the things that are not the most important. I'll leave with one last story why I'm ending on this note. Is when I joined and I had to do a selection for my job, my company. I had done okay in the university, but nobody would give me an internship position. Everybody wanted experience. Everybody can relate to that, right? So I went to my dean and said, I'm a good student, but nobody's giving me a job. So he was kind enough to do an introduction to me, and I ended up getting an internship. It was in the third year of my college. And because of that experience, and things sort of built up, and I was able to get further opportunities. And then I did an internship at Accenture and this consulting at the time. And I did not like, the job profile didn't suit me very well. So they were insistent on saying that, Vijay, come look at our Institute of Innovation. They used to do work with internet strategy in that area. But somewhere my heart was, I said, okay, I'll come and visit it. And somewhere I got this thought ingrained in my mind that I want to be an engineer, I want to be a hardcore hardware guy. I'll do that, and I had job offers from, finally after I graduated, I had work experience, I had job offers from all these places, right? Tektronix and Oracle and a number of other places. And there was a salary range that they were providing me X dollars. And then came this Accenture, which I never wanted to join, that offered me probably 40% lower than this job, these 17 other jobs that were there. But the way they presented themselves, the way they showed me something, I got attracted to it. And if I had not made that decision at that moment in time, maybe my journey would not have been the same. They gave me exposure to something that was not out there, right? And I'm sharing all these different pockets of story, but if you look at the essence of this over here, is I didn't look after money at that moment, I looked at my heart. Where do my heart? What do I like to do? What was my enjoyment? And I found this into this thing I never anticipated. Okay? So these are the things that has helped me in my life. Obviously in this journey, spirituality comes into place, philosophy comes into place. These things all help you because there will be many occasions in your time that you don't know what the answer of life is. Why does this happen to me? मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ? मुझे स्कोर क्यों नहीं मिला? Right? I should have gotten that job, but you really don't know what's out there for you. You really don't know. But you do know one thing, and you control one thing, that when you wake up in the morning, what attitude you want to wake up with, what purpose you want to wake up with. And when you go to sleep at night, you also know one thing. Did I do anything good today, or did I do anything bad today? It may be 12 o'clock at night, and maybe too late to wake up and say sorry to the other person. But you can visualize that person and that situation and say, you know what, Raj, today I said that to you. Tomorrow when I see you, I'll say sorry, and let's have a clean day. Close your day every night before you go to sleep. Close your books of accounts every night before you go to sleep, and every day in the morning when you wake up, remember your purpose and attach that joy of life associated with it. It will change your life forever. It will change your life forever. And never get attached to the situation at hand. A person is leaving from here to, let's say, taking a flight, very important meeting, need to go, must happen, got to reach Singapore for a meeting. Runs to the airport and flight gets missed. Starts yelling, traffic bahut hai, India ganda hai, ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai, bum 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 bum. Right? Extremely upset. Gets the news that the aircraft had an accident. Now he's very happy. These are realities of life. It happens to us every single day. It happens to us every single day. Happens with my wife, happens with my dad, happens with my kids. Every single time it happens. So, some things that you learn to live in, if things are not going the way it's supposed to go, take a pause. Step back for a moment. Right? Don't need to respond to things instantaneously, right? So 3 things. Close your book of accounts every night. When you wake up in the morning, remember your purpose. And ensure that everything that you do with the attitude of play. Attitude of play. It's a profession that makes the most amount of wealth out there. You'll enjoy it, right? So close your books every night with the attitude of play. And if things don't happen the way you want it to happen, because what humans want to happen comes from where? Comes from the mind. And the mind is programmed by the behaviors. But the answer comes from the heart. And it needs some time to give you the right answer. Just give it a pause, it will give you the right journey of life. With that, I want to wish you all the very best in the careers forward. I want to thank you humbly for allowing me to come here and share a few thoughts today. Right? And we hope to be starting and being in a relationship for generations to come from here on. And we're very graced and thankful for the culture that you're establishing over here at Gitanjali, and very thankful for all the professors for their hard work, for the investment that they make, and the love that they give to the children and to the kids and everybody else over here as you guys grow. And I wish you guys all the very best successes to become great entrepreneurs and to help you follow your passion and your life and your vision ahead. Thank you so much.